Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 59 of the Sickcast, aka the Siblings in Cardboard podcast. I'm your host, Noah, joined by my buddies / co-hosts, Thomas and Donnie. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first timer just testing the waters, we're all siblings in cardboard. Guys, I know it's a little bit somber for one of our members, but how have things been since the last time we talked?
It's okay. I already put Dash.io away. That's gonna be like one of my living legend decks, I guess, now.
I mean, it's not exactly like you've been married to the mechanologist class for a little while. You've kind of been playing the field for, the last 2 or 3 competitive seasons? You've been trying something different every season?
Yeah, but like the only reason I wasn't playing Dash.io is because after the Mystic season, she just wasn't terribly viable. But the power level that she got from the new cards and the Armory deck pushed her back up there high enough, clearly. Because they banned a card that was printed in the second set. I think High Octane is too strong, but I also don't think the Mechanologist class has enough strong cards to make the class worth playing at the moment. So, I mean, Traverse is also too strong. So
Yeah, but it just recently came out. Anyway, I guess we'll get to that when we get to the main topics.
You know what also recently came out? Open the Floodgates.
Yeah.
And that card is... You went from being able to have 9 in Living Legend format down to 1.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was necessary because, war crimes are a thing. But
oh my god.
Has anybody done anything Flesh and Blood related this week? Because I know I haven't.
Okay.
Yesterday was supposed to be Armory, but it was my wife's birthday, so I had to skip.
I did go to Armory. I played Florian. I went 3-1, but I lost 1 game to Justin, who was on Aurora, and that was the best game of the night for me.
Nice.
Yeah, it was close, down to a 1-1 thing, and I don't have any AB, and he's like, all right, I'm just going to kill you with Grasp. I'm going to go Seeds of Tomorrow, prevent 5, the next 5, and he's like, oh, that's a good card. And he's like, well, anyway, I'm going to throw a 4 into a 4 and then Lightning Press the last one. And I'm like, oh, okay, you just had it the whole time. So that was good. I also am working on Living Legend and stuff, and we were talking about the book burning. It's pretty funny because I know we had Ed Knight in the Card Guys Discord, and he was just practicing Kano, which is completely unlike Ed, right? We was just we were just goldfishing Kano, and he's just learning because he just wants to understand the deck. And it's really funny because in like goldfishing practice, I think 20 games in a row he dealt like 90 damage on turn 0. Like, it was a lot. It just kept happening. Like, Ed, you should just play this deck. You're clearly just cracked at it.
Apparently. Good gracious.
Yeah. So I might go to Chicago. I'm pretty sure I'm going to Chicago to play in the Living Legend tournament. It just sounds like a lot of fun. I'm thinking of either playing Dash.io or Viscerai. Tome of Findle is really good. Just straight yeet rune chance at somebody. I mean, you still run Blood Sheath Scalata because you could just go, oh, I just happen to have 8 rune chance. Well, I'm going to Sonata X = 4. Like, it's really strong still. You don't have to Sonata with 50 rune chance to make it worth playing. It still blocks 2 and then lets you play 2 cards for free.
Yeah, that's fair. It's already a busted equipment on top of the combo potential where you could just stack to infinity and blow somebody up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that does sound like fun. I mean, there's no chance that I'll be able to go. I'm a homebody. At some point, I'll get to travel, but for now, I'm an Armory grinder.
I also practiced Blitz a good bit because we've got Skirmish coming up, and I caught some strays there too with the BNR. We'll talk about that in a minute. After the market minute specifically. But I think the BNR is going to be the most of what we talk about, other than the Jarl deck that is coming out later this month.
Oh yeah,
which is now totally coded on Talishar. You don't have to play with a bunch of cards you can't see the art of now.
Shout out to the Talishar folks.
Yeah, so having the deck ready and playable way before it's even released, or at least the cards we know
don't know how I feel about that. I'm sure that there's got to be. Before we start really going with everything, Noah, have you done anything as far as Flesh and Blood goes?
Outside of playing some Azalea games, which I've been trying to fit them in, even when I'm at work. That's right, I'm irresponsible. I open packs at work, and I try and fit in Azalea games while I'm at work. So, real man, it's tough. I played some pickup games with Tom against Thomas at his house. We opened up some cards. A buddy of ours was over. I made a nice trade.
Cool.
We played some Dash.io versus Azalea. It's a very who does something unfair first type of a matchup, but it was fun. It was fun to play in paper. I like Azalea. There's a good decision making tree to it. It's a fun deck. I really do miss Dory, but that's just because I really want to play Dory again. But we'll get into that. I think she'll be relevant. In terms of doing things flesh and blood related, I just wanted to show off that I've been opening up finally my Rosetta stuff. It's for a purpose, but I've actually been opening it up. I have 2 more boxes and like 4 packs, and I just want you guys to understand how cracked some of this stuff is. And so far, okay, think about that. There's, I think, what was there, 4 cases total? And so over the course of these 4 cases, we've gotten 3 legendaries. One of them's not here, but we got 2 lightning grease. Okay, pretty good. And the gloves.
Yep.
We got a Marvel Young Florian. We got a Sigil of Conductivity Marvel. We got a Truth Extended Art.
Nice.
We got a Sigil of Cycles Marvel. We got a Sigil of Brilliance Marvel.
That's a
and
really
would
good
you guys be surprised if I told you as well? We pulled the Fable and it's rainbow foil.
Nice.
We pulled adult Marvel Florian.
Oh man, I want
and
that card
adult Marvel Verdant.
Wow,
dude.
Yes, and we still have 2 boxes, dude. I pulled Verdant's, the actual hero card, and the Marvel in the same pack, and I was like, this is absurd. I've also pulled like multiple 3 Majestic packs, so I don't know what's going on here. But like I've seen 3 Majestics in one pack, and I was thinking, what do you do in draft? Like, joke's on you. There's 3 Majestics. So which one are you giving your
opponents?
Hold on,
the third one was probably an expansion card, right? Yeah,
it was.
You can get them
the
Majestic,
other 2, dude.
Yeah, you can get a Majestic in the rare spot, and then a Majestic in the foil spot. And yes, it does create weird drafts sometimes.
It's
just like,
crazy.
What did this person take over this Majestic?
Seeing Marvel Verdants was crazy because I opened it up first. Seeing Marvel Florian blew me away because I was like, oh my god.
You know, they say, I've heard rumors that kidnapping is illegal, so whatever leprechaun you've got tucked under your bed, you probably need to let them, think about letting them go at some point.
This is
It might
wild.
be law of averages at this point, because I saw a bunch of Dynasty he opened that was awful.
Yeah. I mean, like, and the Majestics have been pretty good. Lots of current funnels. I think I was able to get three fellings. Somebody needs 3 fellings, so I was able to get some fellings. So we're working through it, but it's been a good pack opening, or a good grind. And so I'm definitely not upset. This has been amazing. And we still have 2 boxes. So nobody's saying we need another Marvel, but at this rate,
the case you opened at my house was already pretty good.
Hold on. I forgot. Extended Art Millennium Bark chess piece came in this set of cases as well. That is another legendary. Yeah, dude, these min-max cases are just cracked. Okay, yeah. I don't know what it is. That or Peter's got this lucky touch when he sets them aside, but it's been crazy. I've been actually having a great time. This has been the slowest I've ever opened product either. And like I opened it really slow, but dude, I'll be sitting here doing like World of Warcraft key. Let's just rip open a pack. It's like that kind of thing. It's been really weird. And so it's been a very fun time. And I just am now getting through my Rosetta. It's fun. But yeah, that's me. That's Flesh and Blood.
I mean, you can keep talking about cards, because now we need to know the prices of some of these things.
Oh,
yeah,
if we're gonna do that, then just know that some of my speculations came in, and I don't lie. There's the old there's Redback Shrouds.
That's a lot of Redback.
Oh yeah, I told you guys I wasn't gonna skimp out on these Redback Shrouds.
Have these been going up?
No, but that's okay. They did for a minute. They did hit like 15. We're not worried about it. We're just gonna hoard on our Redback Shrouds.
Just
and
wait for Tunic to get banned.
I was literally thinking that exact same thing. Until Tunic gets banned, though, that thing is not playable. It will be playable. The moment Tunic gets banned, Redback Shroud becomes a thing.
When silver's a real payoff for something, it'll be fine. Maybe.
I mean, depending on the contract support coming in hunted, I mean, it's maybe smarter than you think.
Is there a delay now?
It's
when
perfect.
I speak?
It's perfect
Okay.
now.
Alrighty, so I'm not tabbing over anything.
Yep.
Plow Under
It's
is
good.
the card that we're gonna start at. It's about $40 a card, but it really is. Maybe it's because I keep saying 40 and it wants me to put it at where it is, just like 36, 37. But that's fine. We're rounding up today. It's like 40. It's weird, right? I don't think Florian and or Verdance and or the Earth Heroes really had that big of an impact. It's being bought up in quite a bit of bulk, and so it just feels interesting that's a card that's going up, as well as Felling the Crown, which are kind of hand in hand. And Felling the Crown actually only has one available, or one set of two for 41. And then it jumps to 51, and so it's now a $50 rainbow foil and a $53 card, and like that's Felling. Like,
I mean,
Dang.
Felling is very strong.
very strong.
So,
I mean,
because
Earth is good.
I played Florian yesterday, and every time that I can like successfully throw a Felling in the crown without taking a bunch of damage, it just felt like I was swinging the game in my favor.
So Plow Under, Felling, you're an Earth Hero aficionado. You just pulled the Marvel Florian. You might want to get some of those. This next card is one of my personal speculations. I know some of you who've seen my binders are probably seeing quite a few of them. Stamp Authority is finally on the upswing, and who would have called it? Oh, that's right, I called it yet again. No, but seriously, Stamp Authority. Who would have ever thought that this card would finally get a little playtime? It is up 300% in some cases, from about $2 to $3 to $10 a card for
What?
Stamp Authority.
I don't think this is going to get played.
Foils are up to about 25, and so I am sitting pretty. I've actually sold quite a few at the lower price margin, and then I kind of readjusted, and then it jumped again. And so Stamp Authority, every time I read that card, I think that card's pretty cracked. If you can figure out what it is.
Remind me what it does. I don't remember what this card does.
So Stamp Authority is a mighty good card. No, it's a Guardian Aura, blue, costs 3, pitches for 3, blocks for 3. So blue block 3, already feeling pretty good. When Stamp Authority, I know what you're about to say, but it's fine. When Stamp Authority enters the arena, if you have 2 or more cards in your pitch zone with cost 3 or greater, your hero gains +1 intellect until the end of turn. While Stamp Authority is in the arena, attack action card effects do not trigger when they hit. At the beginning of your action phase, destroy Stamp Authority.
I mean, it is technically very strong. It's like Truce, but even better. But
I think it's good.
how?
Also, Jarl's on the card. Just so everybody's
I don't
aware.
know if that's Jarl, but
That's Jarl.
how is Jarl supposed to play this card?
Block out, create some kind of disruption pass with the Stamp Authority? I don't know.
After pitching a red and a blue, so that he reaches the
He pitches 2
cards?
blues.
How does one pitch 2 blues?
I don't know. There's got to be some kind of go again.
I guess he's gonna run tectonic plating, which he's not. He's not.
Could you
tectonic
pitch
plating.
for some kind of an effect and then? All right. You pitch for Coronet Peak. You pitch for this. Bam.
Coronet Peak doesn't have go again.
That's another one. That would be crazy now, wouldn't it? There's a reason and a rhyme. Could I tell you why? No, I'm not a Guardian player, but let me tell you, this card reads well on paper.
It reads incredible, but like you have to keep 3 cards to play this, so it only works if your opponent kind of takes a lackluster turn, and you could overpitch a red into it, or you're pitching into the chess piece, right, to make a seismic surge token. However,
There you go.
I don't think
That's a
Jarl
pretty good
is
setup.
playing that chess piece, and because I think he's going to either play the chess piece that comes in his armory deck because it's very good defensively, or he's going to play Tunic so that he can do the typical broken stuff that Guardians do with the Tunic counter.
That's my plan.
I don't know who plays this card. I don't know why it's going up.
Listen, it's going up.
You can't run it in Starvo.
When
Bravo
you go
is
right
in a
now-
deck in any format. I guess technically you could run it in Victor, but you could.
It's gotta be some kind of speculation, right? I mean, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
I'm excited about it because if you go to TCG Player right now and you try and put that in your cart, it's me. I'm the first. I'm the first one there, so I'm pretty excited about it. Yes,
It says mangle cost.
It says near mint. There I am, near mint first edition normal. Look at their first editions too.
Go save Noah from owning these cards that don't do anything.
Okay, so what does mangle cost, and what does the arm? Okay, we'll get to that.
We'll get to Jarl, and
I promise Stamp Authority's a real card. I've always wanted it to work. It also stops on hit, so it feels pretty good.
I mean, yeah. Okay, sure.
All right.
Sure.
This next card's a little easier to see why it's going up. At least I think, in my opinion, you're adding a lot of assassins and ninjas and probably potentially rangers, and so there's going to be a lot of action cards creating tokens, right? Or at least maybe more action cards creating tokens if more assassins jump into the mix. Ripple Away has gone up quite a bit, and I don't think anybody should be surprised about this. By the way, this card is just clump it in with your that all you got, your amnesias, your erase faces. These are peaks and valley cards.
I would put this Ripple Away in the like Warmonger's Diplomacy and Snag. It's the really specific blue base cards, right?
Sure.
We're talking about because
they're meta specific targeting
blue
cards.
Base. They're part of your blue base. If you're throwing a Ripple Away as an attack, you're like, this is literally the only thing I had. It's the last 5
if you don't
cards
want
in
to
my
throw
deck.
that as a,
Or this was the only attack action card in my opponent's
hand.
banish zone while I was playing new. So I've done that a few times.
Oh yeah, I've been hit with a Ripple Away. It's great. New can give it go again. It's pretty good actually.
what do you guys think Ripple Away is at?
14.
There's no way Rainbow Foil sold for that much. That's crazy.
Is it more?
Yeah, it's more. It's way more.
Oh, well, really?
Yeah.
Don't tell me that. I don't have a place.
Yeah, we're rippling away. Yeah, we're rippling away here, boys.
We're rippling.
Ripple Away is now a $25 base Majestic and is almost a $40 to $50 Rainbow Foil.
It tripled.
We're rippling away.
Jeez.
Okay.
Yeah, we're rippling.
Okay, this has to be speculation as well because I'm guessing like when Jarl plays some of the cards that make Frostbite, you discard this. But it has to come from the card specifically. It can't come from the hero power. Ripple Away is at its best when it's countering Codex play, right? If someone plays Codex of Blood Rot and you Ripple Away, you just got incredible value out of a single blue. That's crazy.
Hope everybody's rippled away, though.
I've got my play set. I think I might have an extra one or two. Wait, how much did you say the rainbow foils are?
$40 to $50.
Oh, are you looking for a rainbow foil Ripple Away? I got one I want to get rid of while it's high.
That's the way to do it. I'm not currently, unless I have like two
Shucks.
and that are foil. I'll see. They're in my actual Hatchet story deck. For some odd reason, I did not like them, but they're in there. They're good when they're good. They're terrible when they're not. Stalagmite Bastion of Eisenloft. We're going to talk about it for half a second. It's the shield that everybody's going to play. It's $90. Everybody should see this coming. Yeah, everybody should have seen this coming.
No.
I mean, come on.
I'm too slow on this stuff, man.
I sold out two, or I would just give you one and put one aside. Like they bought them from me like hotcakes the second he got announced.
That is a 9 times increase.
Yeah,
it went from $10, like $10 to $15 to like 80 to 90.
They're surging.
Wow.
Blood of the Drakai. We're gonna talk about it every week because it's now my like weekly card. It's still up. It's $60 a rainbow foil, just so everybody's aware. Blood of the Drakai, best fable ever created. Coming back.
It's so
battling
bad.
back. No, it's not. Not to these people. It's not. It's the future.
I can't believe this went up so much in price. It doubled.
This is saving this. Trust me. Keep this up. I got a cold foil that I refuse to trade. I know one day it's gonna be the real gem it was born to be. So you keep it up. Keep pushing Blood of the Drakai. It's a real card. Tome of
Okay.
the Imperial Flame is doing a whole bunch of crazy stuff. It's still a $50 Majestic. I told you guys this a long time ago with Tome. Everybody should have instantly, when the books got banned and Tome didn't, should have went, oh, Tome's not on that list, and then bought them all. Like, that would have been your indication to buy them all.
Yeah, you should buy all the tomes of duplicity too.
I'm already on that. Don't, and I know a certain somebody in the community rated it one of the worst cards ever created, and I think that it's valid to be on that list. But there will be a hero one day, okay, that will require some extra.
A 2-card Kano
Octane.
activation, yes, of course.
Yes, a 2-card Kano activation. Yes, thank you.
Anyway,
Come on, LSS, you got to do this for me. All right,
so Tome of the Imperial Flame is how much right now?
$50 base.
Wow, and I'm almost guaranteed that's getting played in both the new heroes.
Almost certainly.
Oh man, all the rainbow foils are 70 a piece. I told you guys they'd go back to that.
Yeah.
I told you we'd go to Dromai Heights if it's the next card to get banned.
Okay,
Let's just put it
it's
that way.
clearly not as good as it is in Dromai, right? Because Dromai gets to generate
No,
ash
'cause
off of it.
She's generating ashes off of it.
So we don't know what the new hero power will be yet, but I doubt it's going to get as much value as Dromai got out of it. However, it does
Hopefully
allow
not.
you to hand filter in a very superb way. So pretty good.
Random thought. What if Dromai is in the set anyway, and that 4th Blitz deck is a young Dromai, and she's just like a Majestic only hero? Like, she's not actually part of the draft experience.
No, I see it.
Then eventually she'll have an adult version Armory deck, and we'll all go bananas for
She
it.
might have
No,
an
just
adult version
release
of
an adult.
Majestic.
Or like, what was it? Shiana and the Emperor were legendaries. What if Dromai is one of the legendaries?
They're young, right?
No, we're
This
saying
is
like
a young Dromai.
like what if there's a Marvel adult Dromai legendary?
A new hero.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kind of like how Briar was in Rosetta.
okay.
And
I'm talking
also
about like
a Marvel
a
of
new
her
playable
Sansa
Dromai.
Samurai.
But like a new playable CC
Yeah.
adult Dromai,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're just gonna flash that in last minute.
like she is the Empress. What kind of crazy twist would that be?
Do we have anybody that's succeeded the Emperor?
We
haven't had that confirmed yet.
Yeah, we don't know.
We haven't had that confirmed yet. To the best of my knowledge, it has not been confirmed yet.
I mean, like, he's dead.
And everybody's angry. That's the whole premise of the Hunted.
Well, that's
I
the
mean,
whole premise.
To
of
be
this,
fair,
yeah.
if that's true, we'll know because Mara Ferris is going to write an entire novel in that language, and she's going to absolutely pop off when she does. Like her spoiler will probably be like 30 minutes long. 'Cause it's going to be like all the lore.
Yeah, probably. And I'll be there for it.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah,
for it.
I'll be
It'll
there
sweet.
for it too. You kidding me?
I was
Okay.
fighting her about Dash IO's
Random.
viability, but I'll be there when she's doing Dromai lore. Heck yeah.
What if I told you guys, and this might not be a surprise, that Spinal Crush was finally up after a hot minute, and we all
Mhm.
knew that Spinal Crush needed a little pick me up. It's a rough card.
It's a great card.
What do you guys think Spinal Crush is at?
12.
$9.
$9. $9. It is up to 9, which is
Oh, good
pretty
call.
crazy, considering we're talking a couple weeks ago. I mean, it's a $2 card. So
Oh,
unlimited edition normals are up to $10. How much do you think just regular old rainbow foils are worth?
they ain't no telling.
What set is Spinal from?
One of the hardest ones. Welcome to Raid.
Oh, it is WTR. Oh,
Yeah, I
the
guess it's
Rainbow
not one of the
foils
hardest ones.
probably cost a ton, like $80. No, probably not that much.
Well, they're not first eds. So unlimited $40 right now for the rainbow foils, which is pretty good. There's only 3 of them. It'll instantly jump to 50. Once that's done, there are no more rainbow foils.
Oh,
That's it. Outside of
man,
first editions.
the first edition Rainbow foils are wild.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
wild. Yeah, first
They're
edition rainbow foils out of that set.
$375 per.
Yeah, if you want first edition rainbow foils, you're gonna be paying out. You're gonna be paying out some money for some first edition Spinal Crushes. It's nice to see Guardian cards up there. It really is. Spinal has been down for a while. I mean, Guardian hasn't been very playable, and so it is just really nice to see
It's the Jarl
that.
effect.
that the card is going up.
I mean, Jarl is so freaking cool that it's even got a anti-Guardian person such as myself excited to get the deck. I have a mostly hate relationship with Guardians and Ice in general, as it's been well established at this point. But Jarl just looks so freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just everything about him looks so freaking cool.
He looks
I cannot
cool.
wait for that hero.
He also has a cool a cool effect. I mean, I don't know. I think the ability to shred armor and replace it with frostbites is kind of cool too.
It is
and
so
a sort
thematic.
of it is a very sort of a chilling death to
you
take
ever,
your armor and break it and then make
I
you
love
freeze.
the flavor.
You ever walk
You guys know,
outside
I
when it's really
love
cold and
flavor.
forget your gloves? That's what Jarl feels like.
Yeah, that's what he's about to make you feel like. Speaking of, well, I guess it's not really speaking of Jarl, but Crown of Providence, keep a watch on those. Those are going up. Obviously, they're not down to like the 60s and 70s that they were in Rainbow Foil. So the $94, $99 Rainbow Foil. So they're almost back up to $100 Rainbow Foil right now for Crown. Just because Balance has seen some lower play with the books being banned just in some matchups. I guess Crown comes back. Although they both,
Crown
is
is still
Balance
the
at?
classic.
what is Balance at?
Yeah, what is Balance of Justice at?
A Balance of Justice will run you $160.
No way. Really?
Yep, they're back up to 160.
Why
But
on
why?
earth?
Well,
Why
I don't
on
know.
earth is
but they're all gone
Living
now.
Legends.
sold out.
They're
What?
sold
Living
out.
Legends. It's got to be LL. It's got to
Well,
be being played in LL.
That's the only explanation. It has to be because
People are
the
prepping for
LL
Chicago.
tournament for Chicago. Whoa.
And all the tomes and Kano being got to be LL for Kano and Art of War for Zen. Yeah, that's got to
Dude,
be.
I didn't realize this
There's
reached
no
a
other
peak-
explanation.
This reached a peak of almost $215. Oh, that's for the cold
Good
foil.
gracious.
Oh, okay.
165 for Balance. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think I've got an extra one.
Just along those lines, Tunic is up to 130. They've been bought out as well, pretty much. It goes 130, 140, 200.
Dude, it is a rough time to try to get in the game and get your expensive staples.
Whoa!
Mhm.
I didn't even realize what Tunic I picked. Okay, hold on. We gotta go take a look at Tunic here. Unless this is just some wild, that was a Bright Lights Tunic I was looking at 130. That's a non-foil Bright Lights Tunic at 130. I don't know what's
Wow.
Okay. There's some weird things happening.
The
'cause
unlimited WTR tunic is almost 150.
once there's two at 115 and then it jumps up to 150. So I guess Tunics have just been up across the board.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it several times, but
yeah.
that's usually a sign of new players and coming in and trying to get the staples. That's a good thing.
This is a good thing. It's a good thing for Fab. I mean, it's a hard thing because you need your Tunic.
Yes and
yeah, I know. I wish now I had a stockpile of Tunics.
Your barrier of entry is higher. The resellers are making more if they're selling, and I think they clearly are, which doesn't
Yeah.
actually help Fab at all. It helps the resellers. But it
Damn
is
you
a sign
resellers.
that Flesh and Blood is doing well.
Damn those resellers, man!
I mean,
They get me every time.
technically, they made all their money once you bought the pack. That's it.
Right.
When you cracked that pack and opened your final spring tunic and you spent $5 on that pack, LSS made $5 and you opened up a $150 card.
Right.
It's like that with a lot of sets. I mean, if you hear Rudy talk about it, I mean, do you guys watch Rudy at all?
No,
Yeah, a little
no.
bit here and there. Yeah.
It's crazy. Apparently, a large number of Flesh and Blood boxes are like that. You can open them for positive EV on so many different things. Especially, he's really big on Part the Misfail. Misty has been really, really successful. for everybody.
Because Mist has huge majestic hits, but
Weakest
it also
Link.
just has weakest
Mhm.
link and levels of enlightenment, ancestral
goodness.
harmony that are going to go through the roof eventually. By the way, ancestral harmony, if you guys don't pick them up now, later they'll go up. Just so you're aware. I promise. You'll see. You'll see. One
I don't
day.
know. Maybe. We'll see.
But that's all I got for that. Winds of Eternity as well. It's through the roof.
Yeah, that's Ira.
Actually,
And by the way,
through the
Ancestral
roof.
Harmony's heavy hitters.
Oh, well, still warranted. Heavy Hitters is a good set. Blade Flurry, there's lots of good Majestics. I think they're starting to get it right with the Majestics in terms of having more of an impact and actually being more sought after, especially with the last 3 sets. Winds of Eternity is a $25 Majestic. That's right, just in case you thought you were getting it any cheaper than that. Oh yeah, $25 for a regular non-extended art, just Winds of Eternity. Think about that for a second.
$25 for a blue card that says combo on it.
I want to say it's been about in that range for a while though, hasn't it?
Maybe.
It was when I just sold mine recently, they went up to get to 10.
Oh.
Okay. They were down to end of October, $5, $7, $2.81 is the lowest I can see, and they're now $25 for a non-lightly played one. It has the word combo. It's a blue. It costs 0. It blocks for 3. You play it at the end 100 wins. You're probably going to play 100 wins. You might not play 100 wins, but you might.
It's a staple. It's a ninja staple.
Welcome to the flick that flacks.
Mm-hmm.
That's the flack to your flick right there.
Okay. Here's a question, Noah.
Here's the answer.
What class should people be focusing on right now?
In terms
if they
of
were
buying?
wanting to speculate, yeah.
Rotation wise, Ranger heavily, and we're talking like silly cards, and I won't give away all of them. Oh, fine. Poison the Tips is a really silly card that I think needs to have some kind of interaction, but it would be Ranger. It would be New Horizons, things like that, because I think we're going to get a new Ranger. We eventually have to go back to Shadow and Light. I don't know if it's been enough
cards.
Yep.
Not till 2026. So that's a long-term spec. So that's probably a good shot.
Okay. So Ranger, and then
some of your Brute staples might be down a bit too.
Yeah, I think Brute has to come back a little bit as well. Although it's weird you say that. The arm pieces for KO have been going up periodically. The good ones.
Swing Big is in a slump.
Swing Big is in a slump.
It's down to a little under $20.
But the only thing that sticks out is really Ranger, and then we just had a Wizard, we just had Rune Blades, we just have Assassins and Ninjas, and a Warrior, and so we're gonna get more support for Warriors. There's always a chance for like Armory deck shenanigans. Guardian, I think, is still a great one to speculate in as well, because the Master Class, we don't know how it's gonna shape it up. So I think Bravo related Guardian it's a good one to kind of jump into. Valda, I get in there a little early, but really the only one that sticks out is Ranger, because it just hasn't gotten support outside of the Armory deck, but I don't think that's going to fix Riptide, and then we need a new Ranger. And I think just following suits, if we're at Dynasty right now, Uprising Dynasty, it would then go Outsiders, and then we'd be back into like Light and Shadow if they wanted to. So it's really hard, because I don't know if they go completely out of left field and make a new Mistvale set where they like give you a Chaos hero and then they make like a whole Chaos set. So I don't know. This is going to be a tough one. I say stick with generics as well. Prismatic Leyline, you got to jump on that. I think that card's going to be cracked eventually. Anything that says the word generic on it, that is a Majestic.
Yeah, try to buy them in the slumps.
Yeah, so Call to the Grave is going to be Yu-Gi-Oh's like next favorite biggest hit or whatever in Fab. I promise you that card is going to be astronomically broken once somebody figures out some, like, if Necromancers are even a forethought, like, just pick up 800 Call to the Graves. You'll never go wrong with that card. That card's going to have to get banned down the road, I promise. So you might as well ride the high.
Okay, I know I give you a lot of flack for some of these call-outs and stuff, but I will not argue with you at all about Call to the Grave. That card is...
Mm-hmm.
If history repeats itself like it has for literally every other TCG, card's going to be good.
That card will eventually be a problem.
Yeah, it's like $6 right now.
Also, get your Shriek Razors, because one day that card's gonna be good. And get your Red Back
This is
Shrouds.
where I give This is where I give you grief again.
Get your Shriek Razors. Make sure you got plenty of copies of Civic Steps, because there's a chance that those boots are still cracked out of belief.
He's got Shriek Razors up, and he just attacked me with a Regicide. I'm gonna overblock by one.
Listen, just just have faith that Shriek Racers will finally figure it as well. Oh, and like Vipox. And what else do we got? What other crazy card? And don't forget about Bingo. Everybody's favorite Majestic.
Did you see how many good 1-for-5s are coming out in this next set?
Yeah, but you know how good Bingo is? Makes your opponent have to guess.
Wait, your
we all
opponent's
love
not
areas,
guessing,
right?
Yeah, I know you're guessing. But
You're guessing what your opponent wants. Like,
right?
What? I don't know. That card sucks.
Guess them. Bingo them.
Anyway,
so I think a lot of the market is being kind of manipulated and fluctuated by the new Jarl deck that's coming out. We finally got the weapon, and the weapon it's pretty solid weapon.
It's Winter's.
It
Whale.
is not Winter's Whale.
Like,
it is not.
it
even
is Winter's Whale
close.
2.0.
It is Winter's Whale at home. Wish.com.
Okay, let me.
Yeah.
It's definitely Wish.com Winter's Whale, and
It's
here,
Winter's
let me
Whale.
explain why.
Wish.com.
One, clearly before you even, break your shield. I guess we should read the card, right?
Yeah, let's
Right.
do that.
Before we talk about it, let me bring that up. Fabrary, jump over to the deck.
It looks sweet.
Yeah, it does. It looks sweet. It looks exactly like the art we've seen in his other artwork, which nice
I mean, it's
on
a
the consistency.
It's a one-handed pole arm, so of course it looks sweet. But
So, Summit the Unforgiving. Hopefully, we're getting like a Peak the Unforgetting as the shield that comes in the deck. But once per turn action, pitch 6 attack. When this hits a hero, create a Frostbite token in their exposed head, chest, arms, or leg zone. Heavy. If this is the only card equipped to your weapon zone, it gets +2. Which means the interaction here is that you block twice with your Stalagmite. You cover up 3 damage over the course of the blocks. And you also give them 2 Frostbite over the course of the blocks. It breaks, and now your Summit is getting +2 when you swing. It is definitely a bargain bin version of Winter's Whale, which reads pitch 3, attack for 4. If a ice card was pitched this way, give them a Frostbite. So
yeah, but that's broken. So like they gotta make it less broken, and this is what they did.
Here's some ways this isn't broken. One, if you haven't blocked with your gear and it's still all there, this is just a generic pitch 6 to swing 4, which is laughably under rate. And then even at pitch 6 to swing 6 is only exactly on rate for damage, slightly over rate for deck damage, right? You swing one weapon, you get 2 cards solidly, rather than swinging the weapon, getting a card, and maybe taking a damage kind of thing. Still a really good weapon, really great flavor-wise, too.
Mm-hmm.
This is an interesting weapon for a couple of reasons, and maybe we can get into it a little bit more, but usually Guardian weapons are like that pitch stack kind of outlet, as well as they're also the setup turn, right? Because it's usually like I'm setting up, so it's just like create seismic, arsenal the card I want to go ham with, maybe even a pummel, and then I'm pitching to weapon because it's like leftover swing, and like that's my exchange. And
Jarl,
this is
that's why Jarl's not going to play seismic,
right? Like this is a little bit more of an investment, but I like it because it has a relative on hit, even if it's only coming in for 3, because you will take the 3 plus the frostbite, which is annoying. 4 plus the frostbite, which is annoying. So it's a little better. It's a break point. It makes it really annoying to block. Yes, it's under rate, but you get to sink 2 cards. And you're in a Guardian second style or second kind of play cycle anyway. And so you don't necessarily feel the worst off of pitch stacking properly with this card and swinging and giving a frostbite potentially. Like Jarl feels like a nice sort of second cycle kind of bruiser. He's going to fit this role really well.
Even in first cycle, you like, if it's a go naked deck, they like to break their gear and stuff, right? You play a Winter's Bite, they have to pay or discard, and then you swing Summit. And
now they have one less blocking card too.
So if they were missing 2 pieces of gear, then the Winter's Bite gives them a Frostbite and then exposed zone. And then if they don't block the weapon, they get a second Frostbite. So they already lost a card to Winter's Bite. Now they're going to have to lose cards to Summit unless they're going to try to work through 2 Frostbites after already losing a card. The value proposition is there, and the ice control is definitely there. And it's going to really punish these decks that just want to like turn 2, break all their gear, try to like get a lead early on, and then go on from there.
Yeah, and he's not only is the weapon like really good long term, but it's going to be turned on quickly because his entire focus is on breaking equipment and playing ice cards. So it's not like it's going to take all game. Even if your opponent is trying to be conservative with their equipment, you're going to eventually get something. All you got to do is just get that first counter on there, and Mangles are online. So
the Mangles have to hit. Now, I would like to note that I think between the last time we talked about this deck and now, I think Frozen to Death came out, which is another non-attack action. Ice Guardian action, pitch 3, block 3, blue. Ice Fusion, if this was fused, you may destroy an equipment with a -1 defense counter on it. You may create a Frostbite token exposed head, chest, arms, or leg zone. This card can be absolutely wild. You know, you get your first armor break, or if they already have broken armor, you play this, put a Frostbite token, break another piece of armor, put another Frostbite token. This is the thing that breaks armor, I think. Mangle is like his damage dealer, and if it happens to break armor, you feel good. But Mangle's how you slap people around. Frozen to Death is how you harass people.
Yeah, you're also going to end your game with your dominating of Mangles through like Crumble to Eternity and the other ones. That,
how
like,
is Mangle getting Dominate? It might be the brand new legendary that this deck is putting out. These are sweet.
Yeah, these gauntlets are crispy in terms of both design and flavor.
Gauntlets of the Boreal Domain, block 2, temper. Once per turn action, pay 2. If an earth card is pitched this way, your attacks named Mangle get +2 this turn. If an ice card is pitched this way, your attacks named Mangle get dominate this turn, go again. So, yeah. What's awesome about this card is that you don't have to play the Mangle. You can actually use it to hand cycle. It's pretty good. So turn 0, your hand sucks. You get to easily cycle a card. Mid-turn, someone did pass to you because you ended up with a bunch of ice frostbites and couldn't play your turn. You're not just stuck with this dead bad hand just passing back to your opponent because you didn't have anything to do either. And then it allows Mangle to come in for 10, which is 10 dominate potentially. It's really strong.
Backbreaking. Absolutely backbreaking. And like I said, I love flavor. And when they just hit the nail on the head so perfectly with this card. I mean, it looks great. The effect is interesting. It's going to give a lot of play lines. I can't wait for this deck, guys. I mean, I love new. Never giving up my baby, but definitely going to have
I think this is
at least a fling with Jarl.
I think this is just really good card design too, right? You printed something extremely powerful on the gloves. Like the text on the gloves are extremely powerful, but there's only 3 cards in your deck with the name Mangle, and you have to draw that card. Now there is like Unforgiving to get it faster, but the fact that like it almost plays in the same way that Command and Conquer Pummel plays, right? You try to get them together, except Gauntlets of the Boreal Domain lets you try to like go off of that off of just drawing the Mangle. I like it quite a bit, and it curves out really well too. Mangle costs 4, Gauntlets of the Boreal Domain costs 2. You got a nice 6 pitch to slap someone around.
Okay, another question for you, Noah. What is Remembrance at? Just mild curiosity. No kind of context for that whatsoever.
$3.
Really?
$2.58. Yeah.
Okay.
I think if the game is slowing down a little bit, people should probably pick up a playset of those. Good card.
Jarl will definitely slow it down. When you're playing against Jarl and obviously playing Jarl, the meta's still going to be filled with a lot of things that want to go fast. It's going to be interesting because Jarl's going to stick his head in there and kind of say, like, here's ice.
Yep. If
but
you
everything,
play,
if you play,
but
everybody else still wants to play fast.
Because
here's Johnny.
Channel Mount Heroic is not Channel Mount Heroic. Channel Lake Frigid is he can play Channel Mount Heroic. I have seen some lists that are wanting to put that in, but Channel Lake Frigid is the card that's definitely in.
Oh yeah,
Lake Heroic. Channel Lake Frigid is going to be in. Yeah, CLF is back.
So most of the lists I've been seeing, it's really funny. It's like they run 3 of the red Deadwood Carapace and then 3 Felling the Crown, and that's it. They run the other Earth cards that just happen to be Ice cards, and I think some Earth Blues, right? But Felling the Crown is so good That they're just like, okay, we block once with Deadwood Carapace, we get the 2 cards in the bin, and now the Felling of the Crown's online. So I'm pretty
maybe
excited.
it's worth it. We'll have to see.
I'm going to buy the deck for sure, even though I won't play it much. I might just play it as is out of the deck box.
I think
You didn't really interact with ice enough when it was in the meta. I think you'll probably like this deck a lot once you put your hands on it.
We'll see. I've been.
You should have played Icelander, dude. I still maintain that. You should have played Icelander.
I enjoyed playing into her a lot. I do regret not playing her. I do like ice a lot. I like the puzzle that working around the frostbites and stuff presents. So.
I just want an Ice Ranger.
All right, so I think Jarl's having a pretty big effect on the meta. As far as classic constructed goes, we already mentioned the high octane ban. We had a schedule and ban announcement that came out on Monday. So Dash.io is kind of suppressed. There are people arguing that she's still playable. Maybe she is. We'll see. But as I built the decks, I always built the decks to push about 125 to 130 damage in 6 to 7 turns. And if you don't have high octane, you're cutting about 12 to 15 damage out of the deck, like guaranteed in that amount of time. Because if you look at the balance of items in the deck, you're going to have about 6 items worth of gunshots that you can't shoot at minimum. Sometimes it's more. Depends on how often you start your turn playing an item rather than flashing them off the top. Luckily,
sound that bad.
It's.
I mean, 10 to 12 damage off of 100. You said 135.
The deck was built to do between 120 and 130 damage in 6 to 7 turns. That's so that you could get past most fatigue by having at least one burst turn in there somewhere and one setup turn and another burst turn. So it's a little bit more condensed in turn order than you'd think. So you lose that value you got off the gun, and also there's almost never a value proposition where you want to have more than one cerebellum processor out in play, because you're almost never going to activate 2 of them in one turn. It's going to be pretty rare. So
maybe you only play 2.
Yeah, that's what list I would try out would maybe just be 2 cerebellum processor. I might try out Hanabi Blaster. I think that's an interesting gun. Because if you ever have an extra action point, you could just plow, shoot someone for 5 for free. 5 overpower. Count Your Blessings Blue was banned. I think this is a pretty heads up ban. I don't think we have good tools, and it was referenced in the article. I don't think there's the greatest tools to counter out Enigma Count Your Blessings. I think the new Count Your Blessings deck was fine. Absolutely fine. I think the Enigma Count Your Blessings deck, because the way board presence works with Enigma, I don't think she's punished enough for playing these Count Your Blessings turns like New is. Because New, she does a bit, she's like, oh, all I have is 2 Count Your Blessings. Then she's effectively not doing anything. But Enigma can maybe threaten 10 damage and then play 2 Count Your Blessings.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It just played too well into the play style. I mean, like, not necessarily a full fatigue, but Enigma doesn't have to take a deck tax to put in like an Oasis or anything like that. In fact, it just helps the game plan. Do you know what I mean? Like you putting in an Oasis to cover up the poison, the well heal, or even sigils for that matter, doesn't necessarily take away from the eventual board state that will kill you off of just having a cheetah pitch to, and or putting an aura in play. It was too good with the hero to create like perpetual fatigues pretty much from the start if like things didn't play out in like some crazy race down fashion where they just didn't get the time to stack the Count Your Blessings in the graveyard.
James White is the one that wrote the article, and he said that this is the Enigma deck that won Worlds was the epitome of what a control deck should look like in Flesh and Blood. He said he was completely okay with the power level of it, but we don't quite have the right tools to combat it yet. Those tools are coming because they are actively creating new things in order to target different zones and do different things. We'll get the stuff eventually, but I don't really know that I like this ban. Count Your Blessings didn't bother me one way or the other. I mean, I rarely ever played into it, and I played New, so it was always whatever. I'll deal with it, but it kind of felt like a weaker response until I actually read the article. until I read the way he explained it. Does that make sense?
You mean like banning the blue was, in your opinion, what was like was a
It
weak?
was kind of half baked. It
Yeah.
felt
Yeah.
kind of half baked.
But I
Well,
think they explain it in the article okay. I don't necessarily like his vision on what a control deck should be. I like control decks. I like New's approach to
New's-
control.
yeah.
I like Bravo's approach to control. I do not like
Mhm.
Enigma's approach to control. Like,
Yeah.
there are some Enigma control decks that I think are fun to interact with. The ones that are like playing the Phantasmaclasm. They're even throwing some weakest links and Command and Conquers in there. They're playing Dissolve Reality. But like, I think the versions of Enigma that we're seeing is like it plays Dissolve Reality because it's basically a free card to play, and then it plays Phantasmaclasm because it's basically a free card to play.
It-
And then
there's
like,
no deck.
nothing
There's
else.
no deck tags.
That's it. That's the only control quote unquote cards in the deck other than just gain a
CNC.
crap ton of life and create board presence. So
Yeah.
I'm still under the impression that these cards are a problem because there's just too many heroes and they're just creating too many variables to where it's going to be hard to balance them out. And
agreed.
Oh no,
I
they're
feel
coming
like
back.
I feel like
Generics.
that. Yeah, I just feel like there's too many powerhouse cards being introduced without kind of fixing the current feel of the meta in some cases. And so the current generics are going to get eaten up by the top decks and used accordingly, but you don't actually fix the status quo of the meta. You just create more heroes and then you create more imbalances around those new heroes that you've
Yeah.
created. And so the card pool continues to get ever infinite, and then you ever have these problems while you're trying to create like new and fun heroes to pull people in. But then you're going to get so like far away from the original. Like eventually we're going to have heroes from Welcome to Race still sitting there below half cap on Living Legends because there's 16 new heroes.
So
Like there has to be a way to create a set without creating a set. There has to be a way to create a set that can utilize older heroes and stop creating 900 new heroes.
quick round of questions. You're creating a Florian control deck. What are the first 3 cards you put into your deck?
Florian
Below, Fate
control
Foreseen.
deck.
Sink below. All right, you're
Sink
creating a
below.
Bravo control deck. What are the first 3 cards you put into your
Sink
deck?
below.
You're creating an
Sink below.
Enigma control deck. What are the first 3
Sink
cards?
below.
It's always sync.
Yeah, and then the second, the 4, 5, and 6
Fate
are going to be
Foreseen.
Fate Foreseen. Yep,
Yeah.
almost every time. And then 7, 8, and 9 is almost always going to be Command and Conquer. Not always,
Yeah.
but almost always. I think there could be a generic problem in control decks. Aggro decks are different. Aggro decks usually play into their class identity because they're trying to abuse their hero power or the powerful cards their class has access to. But in general, we're seeing control decks are trying to abuse overvalued generics that everyone has access to. So there's not a lot of identity to a control deck sometimes, especially if if they're just gaining a bunch of life off of generic life gain cards like Sigil of Solace, Oasis Respite, and Count Your Blessings. Dude, he ran 3 sigils, 3 Oasis Respite, 9 Count Your Blessings, 3
Yep.
Sync Blows, 4 Fate
Yep.
Foreseens, or
Well,
3 Fate Foreseens. Yeah,
I was gonna say 4.
3 Fate
Holy shit.
Foreseens. Some versions ran 3 blue Sync Blows to transcend off
No
of.
way.
Like
That's
So-
crazy.
the Enigma just runs so many generics. She barely has a class identity other than block with Jarl, play Mirror Guy.
I
Pretty much.
think that's a big problem as well. And Flesh and Blood LSS is going to have to actually sit down about these old generics and whether they're going to crimp them out of the game eventually. And it's going to suck for old time players because it's like Fate's a staple. These are staples, but there's no deck tax. There's no thought behind it. You put in Sync as your first defensive option every time. You put in Fate as your second defensive option. And they have good play. Like Oasis to me has a good feeling because it's damage prevention. It does cost 1. It plays different. To get the full value, you need to be doing life things. You know, there is a tax to it. There's also a rhyme and a reason and a way to extract the most value and a way to get little value out of it. So I like it. Sync, Fate. It might be time if they continue to keep making new heroes and new there's probably a call for and a grounds for Command and Conquer, but they'd have to create some outside of Arsenal hate. Like I still think that's the quintessential sort of Arsenal hate, like talk to my opponent's deck in a way that maybe my deck normally doesn't talk to, even as Dory. Like if I throw my CNCs in, it's to have a turn where I've had to block and my sword's not necessarily good, so I'm just going to throw the CNC. So I at least ask a question that might, require some blocks to kind of exchange some tempo. So I like CNC because it pulls decks out. It's also attacks, especially in my deck, because then I'm susceptible to codex, frailty.
I actually find the sink below argument really interesting because I wasn't on board with it, but then the more I thought about it, and the more you realize that sink below is just literally in every deck. I think the only deck that doesn't play it is the Mechanologist, and that's because they can't. Because they can't.
Dash IE plays
away.
it in pistol package.
Yeah.
But that's pistol package. But literally, it's in every deck. Once we have more class-specific defense reactions, they'll probably look at seriously getting rid of it. But no, did you actually? You said you hadn't completely read through that ban and restricted list yet, right? Did you get a chance to go all the way through it?
Not all the way. No, outside of Count Your Blessings and some of the stuff about the value.
We're gonna hit the Blitz stuff. If I think we're done with CC now, right?
I just wanted to mention the December Armory Kit and Count Your Blessings we have coming.
Yeah, the December Armory Kit, the full art foil is Count Your Blessings.
Wait, really is funny. It really?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Is it Count Your Blessings blue?
Yeah, well, all three colors. And James White said, hold on to the blues, they will be back.
Okay.
It's really funny. All right.
That's, I like it.
So, Blitz. So Zen, as said at Worlds, he's no longer living legend status. He's going to be back in the meta for a bit. Pretty cool. I'm not really against that after they've, tamed him down a bit. I think that's a great thing because he literally lasted 2 weekends.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. That was absolutely insane.
In response to that, I think they just said Belittle is just problematic in every format. So Belittle is gone. And then the surprise card that I called it, and I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I know I was saying it to everyone else, that Data Doll is too strong. And she is going to catch a ban preemptively. They're going to notice it and catch a ban. And Hadron Collider was banned, and I think that is probably the most heads-up ban.
Hadron Collider is the one that comes in from bright lights that minus the amount of steam counters the next attack gets plus whatever, right?
Yes.
But since she can flash it in, she doesn't have to actually pay the... Oh, that's wild.
It's super wild because essentially, let's say you throw a red 0 to 60 and you banish a Hadron Collider off the top, and you throw another red 0 to 60, and now you've done a 2-card 12. And you might have flashed another item off the top. Because whenever you flash a Hadron Collider off the top, if you don't crank it, you essentially got an extra 0 to 60 in your turn.
Yeah.
Or you crank it so that you can activate Cerebellum Processor, draw a card, and you got a free head jab.
And it's in Blitz too, so it's just coming at the speed of sound. Get it out of here. That's wild.
And there are good options. If you weren't running red boom grenades, you can now put in red boom grenade. If you're still worried about getting fatigued out, you could just run penetration script or overload script instead. So I think this is a really heads up ban. I think really, really well done ban.
Awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised if Data Doll did the same thing where she she goes from no points to LL in 2 weekends.
After the bans or before them?
Before. Hadron Collider was one of the... You look for 2 items if you're being aggressive. The 2 items you like to see off the top is Tekla Pounder and Hadron Collider. The other 2 items that you really want to see off the top is Cerebellum Processor and Microprocessor, right? And then you got this combination of extreme damage density and being able to... and Optical Monocle. Being able to control exactly what's on the top of your deck is really good. And I'll tell you, when you only have 40 cards in your deck, 2 Optical Monocles allowing you to opt 10, you see 25% of your deck is really crazy. I think Blitz season's looking to be pretty good. I will be playing Data Doll. Hopefully she doesn't catch another ban like mid-season or something. But I at least get to enjoy Mechanologist in a couple other formats other than CC. Living Legend got a significant change.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Open the floodgates. 1 card out of 9. So 8 tomes were deleted out of Kano's deck. And if you've ever goldfished with that deck at all, or played against Kano and Living Legend, or watched someone play Kano and Living Legend, you'll understand why. being able to consistently do like 80 damage on turn 0 is broken. Absolutely
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, he doesn't need that. Man.
Yeah, I mean, enough said.
Not
I mean,
living
that's a war
legends.
crime.
I mean, we all knew it was going to happen, and I think
Thanks, Peter.
Peter, who's like, he won the battle harden in Osaka, and he's like, I'm just going to keep doing this until they ban it. Like, I'm going to keep messing the game up until they fix something, and they did. Notably, Starstruck got unrestricted. That's the Bravo specialization that says crush. If that you can't throw attacks that are less than the value that this hit for.
Can't play cards with value less than the damage dealt.
Yeah. That is an interesting unban, but it gives Starvo a little bit more play into some of the more powerful decks in the format, like Viserai and Zen and Dash.io. I think Dash.io is actually pretty good in LL format.
That's crazy that we're talking about giving Starvo an edge,
but
like that's how far we've come. I think
he needed it.
Yes.
I mean,
No,
he
no,
was
I agree.
completely
I agree.
dominant, but then they nerfed him into the ground, and now they're tentatively giving him a little bit back, just to make sure that he's not completely boasted.
I think it's probably a good call. I think it's healthy for the meta, so that the meta is not just full of super aggro decks, right? Because if you're running little tiny attacks, Starstruck's gonna hurt. I think the one thing that I'm a little worried about is the interaction in Starvo between Starstruck and electromagnetic somersault. So people usually forget that Starstruck has a unity effect on it, that when you block with it and another card, you create a seismic surge token, and then you can electromagnetic somersault both cards back to your hand, and you basically cheated a resource out, got to block 6, and only spent 1 card to do it.
Oh, that's cool.
It is very cool. And it's also pretty strong. Because now you've got a clean curve to play Starstruck, right?
Is that just generic electromagnetic somersault?
It's lightning. Starvo's lightning, earth, ice. Don't forget. Like, yes, he gets to play he gets to play all the busted lightning
casino,
cards.
Dude.
Let's
dude.
He's a casino.
Yeah.
You never heard that? That was his thing.
That's crazy.
Oh, and I'm pretty sure Casino Starvo is the Starvo we're going to see. We're not going to see some kind of control Starvo that does pitch stacking. I think we're probably, especially with Starstruck, we're going to see Casino Starvos, the like main way that you're setting up the deck.
Unless it's Charles Dunn, in which case it's going to be the control Starvo.
Yeah. But regardless, electromagnetic somersault was a huge W for Starvo. Like, that card is cracked in that deck.
I need to check out LL. It sounds like a whole lot of fun. I have not actually played any games in Living Legend yet, so
I
gotta
have to
try.
play a couple.
Yeah,
games,
I think we were dooming and glooming a little bit on how powerful Kano was. So it's just like, you either bring a deck that can play into Kano, or you're just going to get Kano'd to death. But now with the Kano ban on Open the Floodgates, I think the Kanos are going to slow down again. They're not going to run clarity potions anymore. And you're going to see a much fairer format. So I think it's pretty good.
Okay. Sounds like fun.
Notable mention in Commoner, Aether Ironweave is banned. I haven't been playing a lot of Commoner. I know there's been more events recently. I think there's even a Battle Hardened Commoner coming up, right?
Yeah, I think it's like, is it Portland? Battle Hardened Portland coming up?
Oh man,
Gonna be
see
Commoner?
now I can get behind some. I think Commoner is a really cool format and a really good expression of character identity and skill when you can use in hero powers, when you can use just your hero power and some basic commons and the fundamentals of Flesh and Blood to try and make a good deck.
Apparently
Commons
Chain
and
was
rares.
broken, so they had to cut Aether Ironweave to kind of
Go figure.
lower his potential.
Yeah, Chain's usually got a problem with things like that.
Go figure. The busted hero is busted. Surprise, surprise.
So a lot of changes to the competitive field coming up. There's a good bit of events. We've got Calling Portland. We've got the first Living Legend calling in Chicago. We just had Battle Harden Hiroshima in the wake of Worlds Osaka. I think that was picked up by I think a Blitz tournament was picked up by Brody on Levia of all heroes. And I think the winner of the Battle Harden was an Enigma, and I think it was like 3 Enigma and New and 4 Dash IOs in top 8.
Something like
I might
that.
be wrong.
A weird spread.
Yeah. So, and then just, I think we have a great competitive season coming up. I know that we just scheduled one of our return to nationals. It's going to be a draft. So you're a little disappointed, but dude,
I think I was one of 2 people that voted for Classic Constructed out of the whole. Yeah.
What set are we drafting?
the Hunted.
It's gonna be Hunted.
I think it's going to be a great draft set.
I think it's going to be interesting.
They have improved every single draft set because first Heavy Hitters was the greatest draft set ever. Then Part the Mistveil was the greatest draft set ever. Then Rosetta was the greatest draft set ever.
Was the greatest draft set.
Rosetta was actually really good
Sure,
drafting.
but you said the same thing about Misty.
They have been continually improving. So,
exactly. So of course Hunted is going to be just the greatest draft set ever.
It's going to be faster, I think. It's way faster than Rosetta.
It's a great thing for the game.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. They are nailing it.
And lots of weapon attacks too. Oh no. Hunted's going to be good.
It's going to be assassin, warrior, ninja. I think that's just great. As long as they don't make ninja gratuitous, it's going to be really good.
And my called shot is going to be the hidden dragon empress.
Right.
Ooh, hidden dragon. I like it. The hidden dragon empress.
The hidden dragon. Okay. No, you're onto something.
You don't think it'll just be called Empress of the Dromai?
No. It'll be
hidden dragon.
Dromai Empress of Volcor or something like that.
Empress of Volcor.
Yeah. That's what it'll be. I think she's gonna be a legendary. I'm not giving up hope. I mean, I have no skin in that game whatsoever. I don't care about Dromai at all, but I think it'd be cool.
They keep
I just think it would be cool
for her.
Yes, exactly. It would be a flavor win, and I'm all about the flavor. Give me that tasty flavor.
They're going to take us to Flavor Town one way or another with those dragons.
Yes.
We just don't know which way we're getting there.
Right. I love this game.
Speaking of Flavor Town, I think we're all about to go to Flavor Town and get out of here. Unless you got anything else, I think we covered everything.
No, I think everything. We'll talk more a little bit about the meta as it shapes up and some of the changes with the bans as we see some of these major events come in.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'm good. I ain't got nothing else.
Yeah. Well, take us out of here.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I got to take us out of here.
Yeah,
oh, well, Donnie, where can everybody find you?
Draco Hominis 87 everywhere social media is sold. I am also a writer for Card Gamer now, no longer on fabric.gg. The content is moved over to cardgamer.com. And my first article for Card Gamer is coming out. I'm writing the budget deck series for them. It's going to be on -io. So if you want to try to figure out a -io that is currently, as of time of writing and as of the recording of this podcast, the value is less than $100 for what I think is actually going to be a really decent deck. Check it out. Should be coming out tomorrow.
I think mechanologists in general, you can build some good mechanologist decks on the cheap.
Yeah.
Yep,
that's me.
You can find me at What the System Fab on Twitter, What the System on Blue Sky, What the System in Discord. I'm always hanging out in Discord, so if you ever wanted to talk to me or ask questions, you can find me there.
And I am at Big Max Fab on Twitter, at Big Max on Blue Sky, and twitch.tv/Big Max. And we need to do something with our Twitch channel. We keep saying it, but that's more on me than anybody else, I guess. But I will try and do something just to spark some.
I need to do another live recording where we all just hang out and BS for a while, and maybe open some packs, maybe play a few games like we did last time. We need to do that again. That was fun.
Down?
Yeah, we should do that again.
Give me a day. I'll come in and do it.
We should either do that. Well, we should just do it in addition to the cast. We should just do just whenever. Just like throw some really nilly packs. I'll see if I can get some stuff.
It's jam games, crap
on the
packs,
low on the I'll be looking at eBay. There's always things floating around on eBay.
All right.
I would have done it with this Rosetta, but no. We're almost done opening that. Anyway. I'm finding it, I promise.
Oh, really so unprofessional.
Thank you for joining us, everybody. Unprofessionalism is my middle name. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week. And if you did, subscribe or follow, depending on where you found us, to catch us again. Until next time, take care of yourselves. And remember, we're all siblings in cardboard. And it wasn't on the BNR, but it should have been there in fine print. You know, if you get the old Pummelaroo, you got to put the card to the graveyard. You just have to. It's the same with Plow Under and the whole DG thing. And, you know, just
do the thing.
Game. Just do the
Just
thing.
do the
Play
thing.
by the rules.
Frostbites are coming back too, so don't think about it. Don't think we don't see those frostbites in your gear zones, okay? We're watching.